It might surprise you to learn, but as we get older beyond 65, the capacity of our body to handle alcohol decreases markedly. Something that used to be an innocent glass of wine might now quietly be taxing your liver, interfering with your prescriptions, or disturbing your rest in manners that aggravate heart conditions, diabetes, and forgetfulness. Actually, research appearing in the Lancet Public Health indicates that moderate alcohol intake among older folks raises the chances of mental deterioration by 35% relative to those who abstain entirely. Certain well-known alcoholic beverages could appear innocuous or perhaps beneficial, drawing from old-fashioned recommendations. Yet the reality is that for those over 65, specific kinds of booze can intensify dehydration, raise blood pressure, hinder coordination, and even clash with drugs in hazardous fashions. You'll discover that detail soon enough, together with 4 far safer options that won't leave you sensing like you're sacrificing the pleasures of sociable imbibing. Make sure to stick with it until the finish, since the top most harmful booze for older adults is a single one that's yet commonly suggested in wellness publications, and it could be undermining your mind and cardiovascular system unbeknownst to you. Now, let's get started. Prior to jumping in, should you not have subscribed already, I suggest you click that button and activate the notification so you won't overlook any future wellness advice crafted specifically for you. Should this video appeal to you, enter 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, enter 0 to inform me on ways I can improve the material for you. 4 varieties of alcohol that seniors ought to steer clear of in Senior Health Tips. 1. Hard spirits like whiskey, vodka, rum. Excessively potent, rapidly absorbed, excessively risky. On initial look, a straightforward serving of whiskey or a straight shot of vodka could look like a benign treat, particularly for individuals who've savored those beverages for years on end. It's custom, it's solace, and for numerous, it's habit. However, what the maturing physique no longer discloses as swiftly as before is precisely how profoundly it's altered. Beyond age 65, your liver metabolizes alcohol at a slower pace. Your resistance falls, and your central nervous system grows more susceptible to interference. That formerly amiable evening sip can presently turn into a stealthy plunderer. Distinct from wine or ale, hard spirits provide an intensely potent burst of alcohol that strikes swiftly and fiercely. It doesn't merely unwind you. It might debilitate you prior to your awareness. The buffer for caution tightens as years advance, and that shot you once managed without issue can presently result in vertigo, instability, abrupt declines in blood pressure, and most severely, perilous tumbles. These aren't trivial threats. Tumbles rank as the primary source of injury-linked fatalities among U.S. adults above 65. Hard spirits also dehydrate intensely, worsening typical elderly concerns such as parched skin, irregularity, and even renal pressure. Yet maybe the greatest ignored peril is its clash with remedies. Hypertension tablets, tranquilizers, mood stabilizers, these pair poorly with robust liquors. The outcome? Cardiac arrhythmias, disorientation, even breathing suppression. The toll you endure goes beyond a mere morning ache. It's your security, your autonomy, and your capacity for sharp thought. And gradually, the accumulated impacts of ongoing stress on the liver and nervous system might contribute to enduring mental fade, beyond mere temporary haze. Thus, although a robust pour could seem like a prize for those advanced in years, it might subtly evolve into an expensive exchange. It's not regarding censure, it's regarding safeguarding the decades you've accumulated and experiencing them vibrantly. Yet, if hard spirits aren't the sole concealed threat hiding in your tumbler, what follows? The subsequent variety of alcohol could astonish you further since it dons a sugary facade. Should you be continuing to view and deeming these observations useful, kindly remark the number 1 underneath to indicate you're alongside me. Now, let's proceed to item number 2. 2. Inexpensive sugary wines, dessert varieties, flavored coolers, a saccharine snare veiled. There's an appealing quality to a serving of sugary wine. It lacks the sting of spirits. It slides down smoothly, and its berry-like scent frequently seems welcoming, reassuring too. For plenty of older individuals, it's the preferred libation amid festivities, meals, or serene nights. But beneath the allure hides a concealed hazard, one that the elder form is much less prepared to manage than previously. The majority of mass-market sweet wines and coolers exceed mere fermented fruit. They're densely packed with supplemental sugars, synthetic essences, and additives such as sulfites. Although they might flavor mild and safe, they ignite a series of physiological pressures within the senior frame. The sugars may elevate blood sugar sharply, especially perilous for the almost 1 in 4 elders over 65 managing diabetes. And the abrupt sugar fluctuations afterward can trigger weariness, hazy sight, mood swings, or graver still, enduring neural and ocular harm. Sulfites, typically employed to extend durability and maintain hue, represent yet another covert foe. They've been associated with migraines, swelling, and breathing discomfort, especially among aged individuals with asthma or diminished pulmonary capacity. Next comes the tartness of these wines, subtly wearing away dental surfaces and aggravating gastric reflux. A frequent complaint that's usually attributed solely to advancing years. The cost you incur extends past a brief gratification. It's days or perhaps years subtracted from your vitality. When you consume an affordable sweet option, your system compensates via heightened swelling, hindered processing, and heightened heart-related peril. The beverage that formerly lightened your spirit might presently be burdening your form in invisible, yet eventually tangible ways. What's additionally alarming is that these sugary wines frequently convey a misguided impression of security. But if sweetness acts as the stealthy underminer, what of ale? The beverage dubbed the amiable one. You might wish to prepare yourself because the forthcoming revelation could alter your view of that chilled container indefinitely. 3. Ale. Particularly light versions. Not quite as mild as you might assume. For numerous mature folks, ale evokes a sentimental ease. A patio cookout, an athletic match, a cheers among longtime companions. And within booze selections, light ale is frequently viewed as the secure pick. Diminished in potency, lenient on the organism, and culturally endorsed. But what appears mild externally can impose a substantial load on elders, both covertly and persistently. The fact is, ale, especially light ale, isn't as tender as it feigns. Beneath the gentle hum and frothy crown lurk concealed carbs, purines and stabilizers that might unsettle the fragile equilibrium of a seasoned body. It's beyond mere caloric count. Ale brims with processed grains and sweets that swiftly transform to glucose, causing sugar surges and vitality dips. For the approaching half of elders who are pre-diabetic, this isn't a slight matter. It's a physiological snare. Even more troubling is ale's association with gout, an agonizing and swelling ailment that rises in frequency post-60. Ale's elevated purine levels can drastically boost uric acid, igniting episodes of articular agony enduring days. What served as a mild cooler might now spark ongoing distress. And overlook not ale's influence on urinary control and repose, two of the most sensitive mechanisms in later stages. Naturally diuretic, ale aggravates nocturnal voiding, interrupts rest patterns, and aids dehydration, all tied to cognitive erosion, stability woes, and exhaustion among elders. The fee for that frosty vessel isn't invariably instant, but progressively it erodes your vigor, lucidity, and ease. It's the expense of swelling, added pounds, uneasy evenings, and sore limbs. And maybe most severely, it's a gradual wearing of wellness masked as an innocuous custom. Yet, while ale might obscure the boundary between benign and detrimental, the following group of beverages escalates that jeopardy to a wholly fresh tier with veiled perils most elders never anticipate. Prepare yourself, since blended beverages aren't as jumbled as you might suppose. They're deliberate and possibly injurious. 4. Mixed beverages and cocktails, a poisonous blend of sweets and spirits. They're vibrant, joyful, and frequently presented with a grin. Cocktails have emerged as the standard choice for festivities, communal events, or merely unwinding. But beyond the frozen cubes and the parasol, these apparently enjoyable sips are often the gravest for those of advanced age. Not owing to their flavor, but due to how they conceal their essence. Blended drinks usually incorporate hard spirits concealed by sweeteners, nectars, fruit extracts, or fizzies. A duo that strikes doubly. Elevated booze and elevated sugar. For elders, this duo proves especially damaging. The sugar volume in numerous cocktails can match a sweet course, propelling blood sugar skyward within moments. For individuals already contending with insulin opposition or diabetes, this might provoke bouts of lethargy, obscured vision, and even perilous sugar plunges. But the larger threat could reside in the booze proper, since blended drinks veil strength. You sense the effect delayed. That illusory command eases excess consumption unaware, particularly amid gatherings. For elders who might already grapple with recall, dexterity, or dosing routines, this forms a perilous combination, both in fact and in figure. The synthetic tastes and enhancers in cocktails may also tax the liver, heighten gastric reflux, and incite bodily inflammatory reactions. And paired with routine remedies like mood enhancers, slumber helpers, or hypertension controls, the outcomes can prove erratic, even perilous. The toll you bear extends past the vessel. It's within the hours, days, and even years ensuing. What initiates as an enjoyable outing might culminate in clouded cognition, unsteadiness, broken rest, or a muted pressure on the heart and intellect that builds steadily. For elders pursuing sharpness, resilience, and endurance, these beverages frequently supply the contrary. Yet hope and delight await beyond recognition. Indeed, not every beverage stands prohibited. Coming up, you'll uncover 4 substitutes that safeguard your wellness while enhancing your encounter. A few could even astonish you. Let's advance. 4 better booze substitutes for elders in senior health tips. 1. Red wine sparingly. Cardiovascular supportive and intellect enhancing. For ages, red wine has commanded a particular esteem, an emblem of ease, sophistication, and even vitality. And for mature individuals, it could precisely be among the scarce boozy options that might yet provide beyond mere agreeable taste. But the key resides not in abundance, but in measure. Distinct from potent spirits or saccharin blends, red wine, especially sorts abundant in resveratrol, presents something uncommon: the chance to bolster cardiac wellness, blood flow, and even mental acuity. This potent polyphenol in red grape skins has ties to enhanced vascular operation and lessened swelling, both vital for elders prone to cardiac issues and recall fade. Sipping a restrained 5-ounce portion of red wine several times weekly could assist in elevating HDL, beneficial cholesterol, and shielding vessels from oxidative harm. Yet, restraint isn't merely advice, it's essential. In surplus, even red wine forfeits its appeal, veering toward hepatic burden, pressure ascent, and rest interference. The wonder dwells in moderation. Red wine further holds elements that could defend against neural degenerative disorders by penetrating the blood-brain divide and combating oxidative pressure straight in cerebral matter. Elders frequently note a greater relaxation and warmth post a modest serving, not via inebriation, but via its innate vessel-widening properties and mild soothing sway. Nevertheless, selecting minimal sulfite natural varieties alters everything. It curtails undesired responses like migraines or reddened complexion, which arise more readily in seasoned forms. And pairing red wine with meals, particularly beneficial lipids or slender proteins, aids in decelerating uptake and safeguarding your gastric coat. Red wine, when picked and partaken deliberately, can evolve into a ceremony of delight and safeguard. But suppose you might capture wine's refinement and render it yet milder on the physique absent forfeiting flavor or communal bliss. The ensuing substitute achieves exactly that, delivering refreshment and temperance in each draft. 2. Low-ABV spritzers. Wine mingled with fizzy water. The refined thinning. There's an elegance in straightforwardness, in locating delight within what's tender, not overwhelming. For elders who persist in relishing the communal poise of a libation, yet seek to respect their evolving forms, a low-ABV spritzer supplies the ideal compromise. It's not concerning forfeiture. It's regarding granting your system something it can manage tenderly. A spritzer, crafted via merging a tempered pour of wine with effervescent water, converts a routine beverage into something invigorating, airier, and considerably less burdensome on the apparatus. It halves or more the booze level, permitting you to savor the flavor, scent, and ceremony, sans endangering cerebral mist, desiccation, or slumber upsets that undiluted pours might inflict. As years accumulate, our filters grow more reactive, our poise less tolerant, and our repose more breakable. A spritzer honors every aspect. It moistens as it gratifies. It moderates you optimally, supplying sufficient to sense involvement and elevation, sans inclining toward peril. And when laced with citrus wedge, berries handful, or mint twig, it transcends a mere sip. It turns into an instant of mindfulness and delight. There's further strength in the sight signal, a slender vessel brimming with bubbles capturing illumination. You require no substantial measure to sense the essence of festivity. And since spritzers get savored leisurely, they inherently foster conscious sipping, aiding you to remain attuned to your form and evade accidental excess. For elders who yearn for drinking's communal facet, yet aim to engage with poise and purpose, the spritzer marks a subdued uprising, one that murmurs rather than proclaims. But imagine relishing identical tranquility and ceremony sans booze whatsoever, while acquiring a health gain, something renewing for your digestion, vitality, and even disposition. The following substitute might well startle you. 3. Kombucha. Non-alcoholic or minimal alcohol additions. The gut restorative. At times, the physique signals its requirements, not via speech but via weariness, lethargic uptake, or a disposition that refuses elevation. As we mature, the intestines turn more fragile and their sway over aspects from vigor to thought deepens markedly. That's where kombucha enters. Not as fad, but as elixir. Brewed attentively, kombucha supplies a soft, innate effervescence that seems festive while mending. Derived from tea, active microbes, and mere trace sweetness, it furnishes beneficial bacteria, B nutrients, and natural acids that aid in mending the gut's internal harmony. For elders contending with irregularity, distension, or lessened nutrient uptake, this exceeds a refreshment. It becomes a subtle gesture of self-care. Unlike booze, which commonly chafes the digestive path and mutes intellectual sharpness, kombucha holds promise to elevate vigor, hone concentration, and bolster defenses. Its zesty taste may demand adaptation, but that intricacy mirrors its depth. Numerous aged persons discover that via consistent tempered consumption, particularly non-alcoholic or low-alcohol forms, they sense airier, more equilibrated, and even more sentimentally settled. The ceremony of kombucha sipping can grow as significant as wine or whiskey once proved. Decanted into glass, chilled and fizzing, it fulfills the grasp and the psyche. It affords elders means to join communal scenes sans concession and to sense well within their frames, not despite their choice, but owing to it. And although kombucha might mend inwardly, suppose a beverage existed to quiet your nerves, ease your thoughts, and yet ignite that festive gleam sans one iota of booze or sweetness. The upcoming isn't merely a libation, it's a perspective alteration, a fresh mode of toasting mature vitality. 4. Mocktails infused with botanical adaptogens, communal delight absent the drawbacks. There's a subdued nobility in opting for what bolsters you. In a realm that frequently links amusement with days, mocktails blended with botanical adaptogens proffer a novel form of gratification, one that respects both your tenure and your wellness. These aren't simple booze stand-ins. They constitute thoughtfully assembled encounters that soothe the neural web, reinstate internal poise, and yet seem merry in your hold. Botanicals such as ashwagandha, balm leaf, root spice, sacred leaf, and floral calm don't numb perception. They assist in sensing more engaged. These plants earn renown for modulating tension chemicals, curbing swelling, and softly invigorating the psyche sans excess arousal. For elders combating unease, unrestful nights, or remedy-sparked lethargy, these components serve as nature's understated remedy. A mocktail assembled with fizzy water, fresh botanicals, citrus notes, and adaptogens surpasses mere infused liquid. It's a perceptual ceremony. Mint's aroma, ginger's tang, lavender's pacifying tone. There's a lure in how these libations unite folks sans alcohol's blur or dawn remorse. You stay keen, anchored, and wholly commanding, not solely your physique, but your elation. For those with ongoing ailments or intricate regimens, mocktails eliminate the covert perils booze often brings. No pressure surges, no sugar drops, no remedy clashes, merely sustenance veiled as glee. And maybe the paramount element. You persist in the instant, still hoisting vessel, still honoring existence sans the corporeal or sentimental levy.
Now envision the cascading impact as these minor purposeful selections accumulate. Your vigor ascends, your sharpness reemerges, and you demonstrate to peers that maturing elegantly concerns not confinement. It's regarding insight. But what unfolds upon substituting not merely libations, but entrenched routines with shrewder ones? There, the true shift commences. Maturing vibrantly represents a selection, one draft at a time. Maturing lacks decline. It's refinement. And akin to the form, our selections can progress with poise, honor, and purpose. Booze, formerly regarded as emblem of festivity, fellowship, or solace, assumes altered significance post 65. What formerly eased us may presently burden the liver. What formerly aided slumber may now deprive us of it. And what formerly united us might now subtly distance us from our optimal essence. Yet here's the fact. You needn't relinquish delight to secure wellness. You merely must discern which delights remain secure to embrace. Every beverage examined herein doesn't aim to reject gratification. It's to recast it. Be it a red wine serving over supper, a fizzy spritzer on sunlit veranda, a gut-nurturing kombucha draft, or an herb-laden mocktail, the ceremony endures. The bond endures, but the repercussions do not. This concerns not flawlessness. It's regarding recognition, regarding shielding your mind's lucidity, your skeleton's fortitude, your heart's rhythm. Every draft turns a resolve to esteem your form, your path, and your tomorrow, and maybe supremely to remain wholly engaged for the persons and instants of greatest import. The realm will perpetually tender expedients, sugar-veiled snares, and vacant gratifications. But maturing vibrantly stands as defiance against such. It selects liveliness over torpor, recall over mist, engagement over flight. The levy for misguided libations often conceals initially an uneasy evening, a vertigo moment, slightly more lapse than typical. But across time, those levies mount. Mercifully, so do gains from tiniest enhancements. Exchanging one injurious pour for a sustaining one might appear minor, but for your intellect, your liver, your poise, and your repose, it constitutes a potent, enduring boon. You've merited the privilege to inhabit these years wholly, clear-headed, stable, and robust. So elevate a vessel not to bygone, but to the tomorrow you're electing to guard. Because the reality is, advancing in years isn't celebration's close. It's merely the onset of toasting distinctly and vastly more astutely. These insights intend to motivate you toward full, genuine living. Now I'd relish your input. Pause to contemplate and relay one insight you've gleaned and intend to implement in your existence. Let's bolster one another on this path to adopting these realities. Should this video have pleased you, kindly comment with one. If otherwise, comment 0 freely. Your input holds great value to us. Recall to like, distribute, and join our YouTube feed for additional similar material. Thanks for viewing and cheers to existing by your preferences.